So just that this was from the day before part 4, but we forgot to add it in. So as you can see from the photos, I should have probably chucked videos, but I was too busy listening to the conversations going on at the time. So this is what they do in Finland during European elections, etc., etc. They're put in public squares. Usually here in Ireland, people go canvassing at people's doors, etc., etc. Over there, it's in public squares. They don't go to people's doors, etc., etc. So I went to this one. It was interesting conversation. If you see on my live streams, I talked about it a good bit. Um, about the current situation, a lot of people in Finland are not happy with it, etc., etc. So I just wanted to show them a few photos they had. I know they're not the greatest. I should have got more, but I was too busy kind of listening in and talking to people that I've really forgotten myself, to be totally honest. So yeah. So before I went into Parliament, just across the street is a very, very modern library. Like it's surprisingly good for a public library that has free access and etc. etc. And it should be the same in Cavan and in Dublin. This kind of library. Now I don't think even the pictures do it justice. But really, really cool about it. It was voted the most cool library in the world in 2020. And it generally is. There's everything. There's hundreds of thousands of books. There's 3D printers for to use at a good rate for people. There's knitting machines. There's private rooms for conferences. There's study rooms for people studying. Like it's insane. There's even gaming consoles, gaming rooms for people to play. There's a music room that you can rent out music and make music tracks, etc., etc. It's insane. It's the definition of insanity, the amount of stuff that's in it. But it's really, really cool, and it's at really affordable prices for people to use and for the public to use. And I don't know why we don't have such a thing in Dublin, in Cavan, because we really should, because it's that unique. It's generally the best public library you ever would see in the world if you ever have a chance to see it. Like the photos don't do it justice. The only reason why I was going to take a video and to show you around, but again, I didn't want to disturb people that were studying because they were studying for different things. So it wouldn't be pleasant to go around and shove phones in people's faces when they're trying to study. But yeah, really, really good place. As you can see too, there's cafes and stuff and there's restaurants in the library. Like it would be unheard of in Ireland, that kind of thing. And really nice grounds too. There's even basketball courts, etc., outside of it. It's so unique. And I can't emphasize how good it is, to be totally honest. I generally can't. So after we went to the library, we went to Parliament. Obviously, I had an invitation, etc., to go to Parliament. Unfortunately, and I suppose there's a good side and a bad side. The best part of it was the day after the European elections in Finland, and obviously there was quite a talk about what happened, etc., etc., and there was a big discussion, etc., etc. But the worst part of it is Parliament wasn't in session on that day. There was a few committee meetings, etc., etc., but it wasn't like a full-on session like a toast this usual and Prime Minister's questions up. So as you can see, I only took a few pictures because, to be totally honest, I was too busy yapping to people about different things in Parliament. Like say for example, there was Mannerheim crosses on the wall, etc., etc., and I was talking about them and I was talking about different things that was on display. I kind of got distracted. Basically, I should have probably been taking videos because I was allowed to take videos as to my heart's desire. But obviously, too busy yapping. To be honest, more yapping, less filming. To be totally honest, that's kind of the way it went. But it's a good complaint. I was too busy talking to people. But as you can see, it is very plain. It generally is very plain compared to Dáil or Shannon. I was never in Dáil or Shannon, but very plain. I know such a thing with a marble floor, etc., etc. But still, at the end of the day, it's not very grandeur. It's not very really, really laddie. It seems like very basic. It's not like overly, Laudi Da, etc., etc., like Dáil and Shannon were literally kings and queens. It nearly was made for kings and queens. Like you're on the same level. Down the same level with these people. They treat people the same, really. No, but it's really, really interesting building. As you can see, it was built in the 30s. It's not that old. It's very majestic building too. On the outside, you can see it's just a big, huge. It's a big, huge building. It's a lot, and especially when you go up the steps, you can see the library across the street, etc., etc. It's a really unique place, and obviously, it was a great honour to be asked to visit, of course. So after Parliament, I had a reservation for a cat cafe. Now, there's a few of them around in Finland. Unfortunately, on this day, again, we picked the worst day. But there wasn't many cats around, unfortunately, because they were all kind of sleeping. Because it still was early enough in the morning, 12 o'clock. And it just kind of opened, to be totally honest. So there wasn't that much going on. There was only a few cats. You could probably see some of the pictures. I probably should have done a bit more, but again, I didn't want to because there was other people coming in. I didn't want to be disturbing them when they're having their tea, etc. So that's why I didn't take any videos. As you can see, there was two cats. There's supposed to be 10 or 11, but there was only two cats up, kind of. So there wasn't that many, unfortunately. But hopefully, if we do, sometime we will go back and video it. So after that, we went to the tram museum, which is really, really interesting, especially if you ever were in Helsinki. It's just full of trams everywhere. There's trams going every direction. They really like their trams. So there's a lot of interesting history in Helsinki relating to trams. Because obviously in Dublin, we only have trams, really, like modern trams. So what we always did back years ago, obviously, was other kind of trams. But it's really, really interesting, especially to see the old carriages, etc., etc., the difference between now and then. It's really astounding. So after that, we went to one of the most famous cafes probably in Finland, in Helsinki alone, Cafe Wagata. Now, you probably often see that any YouTube video, always people would go there, especially in the winter. You can grill sausages outside and cook them kind of on a grill, but you can't obviously do that in the summer. But in the winter time, a lot of people go there. Now, this is one of the first hot coffees I probably ever had. I had a few when I was younger. I never had one probably in the last 10 years. So just to say, so I was really, really impressed. It was really nice hot coffee. It would generate, and I would say it's the best compared to the ones I had maybe a few years ago, 10 years ago. So it really, really is a good stop off if you have one house. Like it's really, really worth. It's really, really worth. It's nice there, as you see, nice beside the sea there, and beside the boats going up and down. Really unique place in the really old wooden cafe, a really old wooden building.